We looked across the whiskey landscape and realized that most single malt whiskey around the world is aged in used casks or used barrels. We wanted to do something that was more connected with American whiskey tradition and selected new barrels. So in the end, we arrived at Westward, which is brewed like a pale ale, distilled like a traditional single malt, but then aged like a bourbon. And in doing so, we took the best of three traditions that we love, and we put them together in a way that has never been done before, completely reimagining, again, what single malt can be, and in doing so, giving American whiskey a more elevated, fantastic, new brand with lots of wonderful products.
We aren't desperate to emulate another brand or another style of whiskey, but we do think there's room for more expression of flavor with whiskey. In the US, we're known for bourbon, we're known for our corn and our rye whiskeys. We're not really known for our malt whiskeys, though. If you say whiskey in the US, most people assume you're talking about bourbon. When you say whiskey most anywhere else in the world, people assume you're talking about single malt. It is the whiskey of the world. And what's great is, there are regional styles. It is something that speaks of its origins, and Westward is that kind of whiskey.
What we're bringing to the world is this whiskey that really represents the flavors of the barley and the flavors of the malt and the flavors of the fermentation that give you this incredible beer. And so when it is in your glass, you can really get all those elements, and it produces this just really rich, incredible flavor and deep characteristics.
We reimagined every step of the process, beginning with the grain. We went out and did our best to understand all of the available varietals of barley, and we picked the ones that we felt would make the absolute best whiskey, not because the yield would be better, not because the cost was lower, but just what would make the absolutely best whiskey. Then we re-examined and completely reimagined the process of brewing that barley into what will go into our stills, and rather than making a commercial style whiskey wash, we decided we were going to brew a craft pale ale.
Experimenting with one of the 5 elements of whiskey. Again, that's grain, water, yeast, wood, and thyme. Now, you can change just a little bit of one of these things and you have an entirely different flavor expression. So we're constantly experimenting with a bit of different grain, a yeast strain, a different finish of wood. These all matter. These all make differences in the whiskey.
We're doing things that have never been done before, and I personally think that that's largely related to who we are and where we are. We're not making whiskey just anywhere. We're making whiskey here in Oregon, in the American Northwest.
So this style of whiskey really isn't something that a lot of people have seen before, but it has broad appeal to all whiskey appreciators.
We find that more often than not, people who discover Westward and enjoy it and fall in love with it are curious explorers. They're people who are deliberately looking for something new, who have respect and appreciation for what they've tried and what they know about, but somehow in their heart feel that there's more out there and they want to be the person to go find it.